So we've got another weekend adventure coming up now. I'm going to be heading out to Creag Meagaidh in the Central Highlands, and we are almost fully charged, and we've got a predicted range at the end of Creag Meagaidh of 60%. So we'll see how that goes. So I've been driving with my winter tyres now for just over a week, and one of the things I have noticed is that compared to the summer tyres, the efficiency of the winter tyres has resulted in an increase in energy consumption. And that, if we give a comparison, when I went to Torridon in September, the efficiency was about 240 watt hours per mile for the whole round trip. Yesterday, for example, I was achieving an efficiency that was just over 300 watt hours per mile. So it was about 30% more hungry in terms of fuel. Now today we've got no snow at all. There was just a little bit of ice, and the forecast is for temperatures of about 7 degrees later on in the day as we go inland. So that milder weather should hopefully help things out a little bit there. I still think the energy consumption is going to be higher, and one of the things I find is that we're now undershooting the estimated range by about 10 to 20%. So although it said a predicted battery of 60% by the time we get there, I've got a feeling it's going to be closer to 55%. So we are now in Aberlour, and Aberlour is pretty much the start of the journey up the A95 towards Aviemore. It's a very good road. I find it very engaging, and all told, in terms of energy, we are at 85% battery. We are below what our expected battery level was supposed to be according to the energy graph here, but not by much. It's presently estimating a 58% battery charge when we get to our destination. Overall, the efficiency is about 277 watt hours per mile. But that's going to increase because Aberlour is right at the lowest point of the whole route. The altitude for the car park at Creag Meagaidh is about 200 to 250 meters above sea level. So it's climbing. We'll be on a climbing gradient from now on. So now we are heading onto the A9. So we're at the outskirts of Aviemore now. So we've got a nice straight road for a certain length of time up until Kingoussie, and then we will be heading on to the road going off to Newtonmore and Lagan. Okay, so now we are on the road out of Newtonmore towards Lagan. This is a road I've always considered to be quite a quiet road in the winter time, and it's what shall we say? It might be a trunk road, but it's not really up to trunk road standards. But that said, you know, I've travelled on this road for the last 25 years, I'd say. It's gradually and subtly improved over those years. So we are now about 6 miles away from the car park, and yep, this is what the A86 is like. This part of the world. It's quite twisty. It's only just wide enough for a car and a lorry to pass each other, and you just have to keep your wits about you all the time. We're doing pretty okay in terms of charge. About 59%, so I reckon 57% is where we're going to end up in the car park. So we are now very close to the car park. We are about to run out of twisty road, then it turns into nice road, and it's never really been improved eastwards from here. But this is where the money ran out, shall we say. Here we go into the car park. And as is always the case with Munro bagging car parks, there is no car charger. So, time to get the boots on, and we will head on up the hill. So, 57% charge. We have achieved 276 watt hours per mile. That's okay. I would expect about 240 watt hours per mile if I had my my summer tyres on here. So let's get the hiking boots on. So we are going to attempt to climb up to the summit of Creag Meagaidh today. This is a mountaintop with altitude of 1,150 meters at the summit, if I recall correctly. Popular hill. Covered in snow as well, so let's just have a look around. So that's what we're aiming to climb there. There's been quite a bit of melting action yesterday. So why do I want to talk about my Tesla in relation to hill walking? Normally I keep driving and hiking separate. It's a good question. Like the Torridon trip I did, I want to demonstrate what this car is capable of when it comes to some of the longer day hikes in the winter time. Now, if I was to do my Torridon trip today, I'd end up needing to recharge on the way home. But I wouldn't need to recharge for very long. There is a supercharger in Inverness. I could probably get 10 minutes of charge there, and then I'll be good to continue. And likewise in Aviemore, I've got a supercharger there as well that I could use. Again, 10 minutes is probably more than sufficient to charge up and get me home with just enough juice. I don't think I'm going to need to recharge on the way home. I've got 57% charge, which is plenty. And I should get home with maybe 15% battery left, I reckon. And Creag Meagaidh, this was just over 2 hours drive, 2 hours 15 minutes. That is a decent drive for a day hike. What this drive gives me is confidence to continue with using an electric car for day hiking trips like this. So here we are in Creag, and we've got the Lochan right here. So where we are going is up there. That's the walking route up to here. We've had an excellent footpath up to this point. A little bit of snow in the way, but the footpath continues for a little distance, and then it becomes more of a hikers and mountaineers footpath going up to the gap. The gap is covered in quite a lot of boulders, so it could be quite tricky with the snow. All the snow down here is certainly melting, but it looks like the frost is holding on higher up. Okay, so I am in this boulder field, which is mixed in with deep snow. It's been a very exhausting trudge. I am lucky in that, well, I say lucky, look here, all of this snow is just the nastiest stuff to walk through, and getting up here is definitely a struggle. I'm not too sure whether I'll make the summit. It's about, what, 10:45, so my turn back time is about 12 o'clock. There were footsteps to follow, but when I follow them, you end up plunging deep in, so they must have been much lighter footed people. So yes, I'll see how far I can get on, but I'm a bit doubtful now. I didn't make it to the top of Creag Meagaidh. The cloud has come down amongst other things, but the snow was really very deep. I got up to the point where the valley was starting to level out, and the snow beyond was really quite exhausting. It was exhausting getting up there amongst all the boulders. It was quite treacherous in many respects. So this gives you an idea of how much snow there was higher up. It was really quite exhausting, but looking at this, I just realised it's going to be even more exhausting if I went above the saddle point. Okie dokie, back to the car. Earlier than expected. Nonetheless, a satisfying walk. Wow, that was a good taste for winter walking this time round. No doubt there'll be more trips for winter walking coming up, but now it's it's 20 to 2, so it's time to head back home now. Right, so it is suggesting we have got 24% battery estimated when we return back home, so we'll see whether that turns out to be correct or not. Back on the slow road. Next stop will be Lagan. So normally I travel through Newtonmore and Kingussie. However, what I am finding is that the recommended route is telling me to take the road to Dalwhinnie and then turn off at a certain point in just over a mile. And I just want to try this route because I'm just thinking to myself, have I missed a trick in my choice of route all this time? And have I is this actually a quicker route to take? So let's see how this goes. I think I'll just hit the fast forward button on in post editing now. Right, let's take this route here. This is off the A road. This is a country road, and it's suggesting it's 4 miles, just over 4 miles to the A9. So this might be a very interesting route to take. Or it might be a complete nightmare. We'll just see. And here we are, the A9.
Now turn left onto A9.
Gonna have to say, that was an interesting route, but I not convinced that that was quicker. I was maintaining an average speed probably around 30 miles an hour once I turned off the A road. So very interesting route to do. That's the route that was suggested by the navigation. It's very unorthodox, shall we say. It's using tiny narrow roads, but they are of the opinion that it's quicker. Okay, so I will stop fast forwarding now. We are approaching the village of Abalawa again. So, a couple of interesting features about this village. It has 3 different EV chargers for public use. 2 of them are rapid chargers, and then a 22 kilowatt charger near the old railway station. One of the rapid chargers was installed, I think it was this autumn. So it's a good place to stop if you haven't got enough charge to get back home. So I definitely will be considering that if I have longer drives, day trips, and I want to stop for some food in Abalawa. Now this is Murray Council, and their policy at the moment is that they will charge £3.80 per session for the use of any of their public chargers. So if you've just got 10 kilowatt hours to top up with, you're not going to get too much value out of that. But if your car's almost empty and you want to charge up for half an hour whilst you get some food, then you're going to get a lot more value out of your payment. Okay, so the first charger is just there. It's a street side charger, and very handy. And we've got a fish and chip shop, and we've got a co-op further along. So, okay, it's not as handy as it could be, but it's handy enough. Okay, I think I'll stop fast forwarding now. Very, very nearly home, and we have achieved about 264 watt hours per mile for that round trip, which I think is pretty good for the winter tyres. Still not as good as the summer tyres, but certainly not out of the ballpark. The estimated battery was 24% when we started off. We're now at 21% batteries. So overall, 53 kilowatt hours of electricity used over just over 203 miles. Well, that was a nice big drive, and this journey gave me a lot of confidence as to what capabilities my Tesla has in colder temperatures that we have over the winter time. And it gives me an idea also of the kind of energy consumption that we can get with winter tyres. They are worse than summer tyres, so my plan will be to swap them back over to the summer tyres sometime maybe end of February, beginning of March, depending on what the long-range forecast is. Now, in terms of future films, if I get a part, I'm going to do a special little video about my charger here and how we can get that to talk and cooperate with the hot water controller. I've also got a long distance drive coming up. This is going to be another drive where I'm going down the whole length of the country, so that's also coming up, so stay tuned for that. And I'm going to have to say, yes, I'm going to have to get fit again and get up these mountains and hopefully not get defeated by deep, soft, wet snow like I did today. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again very soon.